What's up, guys? It's Cowboy here. Today, this video is all about how to build a pixel gapped base. I did not come up with this idea. I learned how to build pixel gap foundations from Gamelightz. I'm going to put a link to his video on this in the description. But this video is about some practical tips that I've learned. I've been building bases like this for the last 2 or 3 years. And the idea that you can have loot that's hidden and you get raided and no one finds your loot is pretty much the coolest thing ever when you're playing Rust. What I want to show you is how to build a base like this on a live server. Here we go. The first thing is you need to figure out where you want your base to be. The 2 squares you place initially, that's going to be about where your base is. So let's just say I want to build a base right here on the river. Or, you know, not quite on the river, but close. So the first step is placing 2 squares. Then you jump. As Gamelightz would say, jumping is part of the technique. You place a triangle. You can adjust the height, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. And then when you strafe over, clip this one. I'm not moving my mouse at all. Clip it back as far into this as you can. Now we have, as Gamelightz would say, the dreaded pixel gap foundations. Okay, so first step is make sure this turns blue. The second step is test the pixel gap. So, and you see that? We've got the pixel gap right there in the middle. You got to do this a few times so you learn what to look for. Can you see that gap? I hope so. Pixel gap right there. The next step is test the pixel gap and then immediately get your TC up. I'm going to build a TC right in this triangle. So you can lock it. You go ahead and build this out. See, now that I have the TC placed, I can demo the twig. You upgrade all this to stone or whatever you got. Wood would be okay for now, but get that secured, upgrade this, and demo these. Okay. Right now in this state, you have the pixel gap foundations already built. You can build out from here. Even in a heavily contested area, you know, you can store stuff in the TC. If you had to upgrade to wood, you could do that too. And keep in mind, we're going to demo this foundation, so you got 10 minutes to demo this thing. The next step is to build. I'm going to build a 2x2 for this example. This is what I usually do. You can build any style of base you want, but you have to plan these steps sort of accordingly. But this is what I do for a 2x2. I'm going to place the outer triangles. So square, triangle, triangle. Just like this. And then demo everything other than the outer. Okay. What we have here, these are high foundations. This one's high, this one's low. These are all now high foundations the way we built out. At this point, you want to demo this one, but we'd like to place a high foundation here. So how I do that is just have it like this and then snap over and place. Snap over and place. At this point, you want to go ahead and upgrade these to whatever you got, just so they can't be easily griefed. If somebody sees you and they know this technique, they're going to know what you're doing. But the reason why you want to demo this one is because we want to make sure we place the squares. This is the low foundation, okay? Placing the squares here, they can't attach accidentally somehow to these triangles. And like if you had a triangle here, you could accidentally attach to it. We want to avoid that, okay? So place, place. And now these in here are low. And these out here are high, or should be. Let's test it. Whoops. See that? Pixel gap. I see it. You test it with a smart alarm or a siren light, but you see right through there, you got a gap. Plain as day. So that means this one is high, like we wanted it to be. Now, if you happen to do this and this one doesn't, you know, turn out to be high, like I said, you need to test it. But if this one isn't high for some reason, these other three foundations are guaranteed to be high. So we can pixel gap off any of them. Obviously, you wouldn't have the smart alarm. I'm just trying to show you how to test this for yourself. See that? No problem. Pixel gap. Easy. So, okay. Once you have the base in this state, you got to remember that these outer triangles are not attached to the base at this point, and they're going to decay rapidly. So, what you do from here on a live server is go ahead and build go ahead and build yourself a little airlock. Alright, you build an airlock. So you have some, you know, measure of safety in here. And now you can place bags or whatever and make damn sure that this door stays closed. And then you can operate from this as like to finish your build as a safe place. You have at least one door between you and death. The next step is to attach these triangles to the rest of the base. Gamelightz shows this in his video as well. He does it real quickly, and you know, he's an expert level builder, so he knows exactly how to place all this stuff. But what I found is sort of a cheat code is when you're placing these triangles, you can move around you see this? I'm just moving my mouse back and forth. All you need to know is this is short and this is long. Short, long, short, long. See that? When it's sticking out long, that's what we want. On all these, we want it to be long. The way you double check is you should have this stone texture in the upper right hand corner. Okay? Stone in the upper right hand corner. But the way to know you're doing it right when you're placing is you want it to be long. Look at that. Short, long, short, long. Place it long. Stone in the upper right. That's all you have to do. Make sure it's longer, shorter, longer. Shorter, longer. We have stone here. We have stone here. We're good. Short, long. This is the idiot-proof way to do this. Because you want every foundation other than these outer triangles to be low. Short, long. Okay. And stone in the upper right. He does tell you to check the stone in the upper right, but he doesn't tell you how to make sure you're placing it properly. So, okay, so now, if you're building a 2x2, you do something like this, where this is going to be the jump up chute. You want it to be as far away from, you know, the TC as possible. Obviously, it's going to have to be a garage door. But for now, you got some doors in between you and death. You're chilling. You're doing good. What I want to recommend is I build all my shelves and all my jump ups at the pixel gap height. Okay, and the way you do that is half wall, full wall. If you do that, this height right here, this is pixel gapped. You can pixel gap off this. So even if we built it right here, we should get a pixel gap. And we do. See that? Look, that's a pixel gap. This is not one. See this? Nothing. No gap. Right here, gap. You can see it. The most important thing is while you're building, test. Test it. Make sure the pixel gaps are working. Test, test, test. You don't want to build this whole damn base and then realize your bunkers won't work. But like, in order to make sure this stays at this height, go ahead and upgrade this. This is going to be within your honeycomb. Right? So like if you're building a jump up, it's going to be something like this. And then when you go to place a triangle, that's now at the pixel gap height. And then when I build my shelves in here, I do the same thing. Just make them at the pixel gap height and carry that through to the other one. But when you're doing that, now like if anything gets destroyed, it just means you got more options to pixel gap off of different things. If you have all your shelves at the right height, okay? But you see what I did here with the half wall and full wall? That's the other thing I wanted to mention. Like when you go to build out, like this is going to be a door. Just do a full wall and a half wall. Half wall, full wall. It's going to make it easier to keep track of your pixel gaps as you build up. Make sure they're at the right height. These are going to be my entrance doors eventually, so we go ahead and do this on the 2x2 build. And you know, you'd have honeycomb out here, that kind of thing. But as you're building up, this way, like you know, like right here, this is the height of the pixel gap. You can pixel gap. I wasn't able to because there's not enough stability, but if you had a wall here, you can pixel gap off of it. And it should work. See that? There's the gap. We're testing it. Test as you build. I can't stress that enough. Just test. See this? You can see right through it. Daylight. Perfect. Let's just say we have a double door. Doesn't matter. Okay. Once you get up to like this stage where we have a couple of doors between us, you know, our bags and the outside world. At this point, we built up enough. We want to build the external TCs. This, having pixel gap foundations doesn't do anything if somebody can come in and grief you, can move items in your base and look into the bunkers and just take everything. We don't want that. We want external TCs. So now the base is in this kind of shape. We need externals right now. We need to build them. So I don't know how close. My neighbors are probably too close. But let's just say I'm going to build a square like this. However you want to build externals, it doesn't matter. I don't know how to build detachable anymore. So I've just been doing something like this where you go out 5. And I go and then you just disconnect from the base. But look, if you build something like this early on, and I know the way that I'm going to build this base, so I don't want squares there. I'm going to build back the triangles. But depending on what you're building, you got to get the externals up ASAP. Like on day 1 of the build, you've got to get externals. So you want to claim this building site for good. Now, early in the wipe, you could have this all be stone. 2 sheet metal doors on a stone external. It's 4 rockets. you know, through the doors or through the wall. It's 4 rockets. That would be just fine. You just got to remember, as you carry the pixel gaps up, like you'd have something like this. Should get a pixel gap right there, and we do. So just continue, like when you build up, just do a full wall. Do a full wall, then the next floor up, you'll have a easy height to pixel gap off of. When you get up to the top, just cap it off with a half wall somewhere. And there's different options for the type of bunker. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Pixel gap bunkers. I'm not going to build up this whole base, but let's just say that we had honeycomb out here. Doesn't really matter for this example. Okay, so you got several different options. If you do a build up like this, let's say it's day 1 of the wipe. This is just going to be honeycomb. So you can do something like this, and we've got a pixel gap. But now a locker will go in there. Okay, and if we, you know, obviously the walls we built up, whatever. Put a locker in there. Like even on the day 1 of the wipe, you could do something like this, and you've got a locker where you can hide stuff when you get offline. And you know, you can cover the walls with wallpaper or whatever to try to camouflage the gap. Okay. So that's one option. Another one is if you have 2 triangles together like this. We know we can pixel gap this right here. What you would do, if you have 2 triangles together like this, you can do 3 lockers. You just move them as far forward as you can. You can reach them all through the gap. Okay, so you got that. The 3 lockers, it provides a lot of storage. It's a good option. The last best option is to use a square. I'll show you this one. Do something like this, right? Like it's all stone, whatever. Metal, doesn't matter. Build a ramp. 2 large boxes on the ramp, like so. I should place this one first. It's a little bit cockeyed. Should be fine. Okay, now if we can just carry the pixel gap over. Just say none of this is here. Okay, if we can carry the pixel gap over there, that means we can pixel gap this. And we've got a gap there. Alright, obviously, like, before you do anything like this, you would test it to make sure it actually works. Get a large box. We've got a large box. Now you've got, like, the sickest possible type of hidden storage. This, once again, I'm going to put a link to Gamelightz. He has bases where he incorporates something like this with the shelf with the 2 large boxes. Gamelightz is a genius level builder. He's just so creative. Everything that he makes is so cool. And the only reason I know how to do this is because of him. But I mean, the ability to just hide loot anywhere in your base you want, any wall. You can be as creative as you want to be. Squares, triangles, 2x2, different footprints. It doesn't matter. You decide where you want your loot to be hidden. I've been building, like I said, bases like this the last 2-3 years where there's hidden loot. Nobody ever finds it. I mean, if you have a locker in your side wall here, the honeycomb, and somebody pummels in, well, they might, you know, you have a 1 out of 4 chance of finding those lockers. It can be 2nd floor, 3rd floor, on your roof. It could be anywhere. But anyway, I hope you guys appreciate this little tutorial. It's not that complicated to pixel gap your base. I mean, the drawback is placing the TC in the honeycomb like this. I usually armor behind it to sort of make up for that disparity. But when you're actually setting up, it saves you. You don't want to have to break twig with tools. If you're in a contested area, you want to be able to use the hammer to demolish. The way that I showed you how to do this is exactly what I do when I build a base like this. So please like, subscribe, post a comment. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs this year. If you can sub, I'd really appreciate it. Hope this helps. I hope you're able to build a kick-ass base with hidden bunkers all over the place, and it's just a big FU to offline raiders everywhere. Until next time, guys.
Damn.
They didn't find any of the real loot.
It's just a big FU to offline raiders everywhere.
We are slaying back to back. Hop, hop, have wide, have fire. Holy moly, snap, take that. We are slaying back to back. Holy moly, snap, take that. We are slaying